Hello. Yeah. Test. Hello.
Being brought to you by Straker Soccer Supply.
2018, May 13th.
For all their equipment and training needs. Be sure to check out their store in Shaughnessy for your individual and team soccer. up teams today from Okotoks.
All right, welcome to another day of USL PDL action from Okotoks and Calgary, Alberta, Canada. It is Foothills FC versus Victoria Highlanders, the rematch from Friday night. Dave Stanish and Olympic bronze medalist Stephanie Labbé here with you for another day of action. Game 2 of the 2018 season for the boys in black with the green stripes. That is the Foothills FC squad, along with the Victoria Highlanders, who are wearing all white with black numerals. Stephanie, your thoughts on what you expect to see today and the very brisk left to right wind that we're seeing right now?
Yeah, today's going to be an extremely important match for both teams. Of course, Victoria is going to come out, want to get a little bit of revenge from Friday night. They're going to want to get some points. It's a road trip here that they don't want to go home with no points, so they're going to be coming out firing, ready for that. And Calgary, of course, coming off the win, having a bit of confidence in that, is going to want to try to build their possession from the start and really take control of the game early so that they can continue to build through and hopefully take home 6 points this weekend.
Of course, only the top 2 of the 8 teams in the Northwest Division make the playoffs. Foothills was one of those teams last year. They traveled to Portland to play the Timbers U23 squad and did not get the result that they wanted. So in order to get ready for that series here at Foothills FC Stadium here in Okotoks in 2 weeks, that rematch, this game very, very important. And of course, with only 14 games in the regular season, every point and every win is extremely important. The starting goaltenders, same as Friday night for the Victoria Highlanders, Nolan Worth in the yellow jerseys, and for the Foothills FC, Marco Carducci, who had that extremely important penalty kick save on Friday night, which made a significant swing in the momentum, certainly for both teams that evening. Starting it off once again, Foothills FC, the black jerseys with the green stripes, Victoria all in white shirts and shorts, and they're making a quick dash down the right field line. Number 6, Francesco Bartolillo, the only man who is a starter today, who wasn't a starter on Friday. Got a good opportunity, but Calgary clears the ball very quickly. This time it's Moses Danto, who had a very impressive performance a couple of weeks ago against FC Edmonton in that back-to-back series. Al Clasico crosses it in front, and the offensive action very quickly here in the first less than a minute. Oh, there's a handball on 12. They didn't see it. They missed that on Papadinets, who's been moved to the back end for the starting lineup so far, but neither team wasting any time right now, Stephanie.
No, for sure. You know, they're coming out firing. They've got some energy, and you know, Sunday afternoon games are always exciting. You've got the warm weather, and I think both teams are coming out firing, ready to get some points today.
Victoria on the back end, crossing the halfway line, looking for Corey Bent, excuse me. Too far for him. He knew it already. So Foothills setting up for a halfway line header from 13. That is Mamadi Kamara, a starter today, who was a substitute last week, and our first call of the day going down Stuart Heath, thanks to the contact from Jonathan Wielden, number 20 in black. Victoria wanting to get out to a quick start after 0 goals on Friday night, and want to set up something, especially, is there a wind advantage like there is in football? Well, the other kind of football?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it can affect goalkeepers. It can affect wide players getting on the end of balls. It affects the flight of the ball when it's in the air. And so both teams, you know, if there is a strong wind, are going to look to try to keep the ball on the ground to not let the wind take an advantage, or use it to their advantage when they can to whip balls in that are tough for the goalkeeper to read.
Would Victoria really want to push this pace because they'll be against the wind if it continues like this in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, you want to take advantage when you can. You know, you want to, when you have the wind, you want to use it to your full advantage and take full advantage of it. And when you're against it, you just look to play a little bit differently. You keep the ball on the ground more. Marcus
Campanile working his magic after it went into the 6-yard box and quite right out again. Referee in red today. And another call in favor of the Highlanders. very physical matchup in the 90 minutes we saw on Friday night, and we expect nothing less here. Some tempers got flared up, and some pushing and shoving took place in the center circle in the first half, and a red card got issued to Gordon Hall, and as a result, he is not here tonight. That red, courtesy of a second yellow on a contact with Jackson Farmer from Foothills FC, who is also not in the starting lineup. Nice block by the wall, and cleared out quickly. Number 11, Isaac Kosh, had that free kick opportunity, and Calgary tried to go quick in the other direction, and they have their first foul to their advantage. Marco Carducci in net, directing traffic from the back. As we said, an extremely important penalty kick save. I talked to him afterwards, and he said that he had a feeling the player was going to go left, and it lucked out for him. So that kept the score 1-0 after the penalty kick goal that we saw by Foothills FC right after the beginning of the second half Friday night to open the scoring. That one sent all the way in. It'll be a goal kick for Marco Carducci. Lineups for Foothills FC: Haynes, Waterman, Wheeldon, and Zeeby on the back line. Atakube, Ledgerwood, and Jones in the middle. Kamara, Danto, and Musi, the strikers. Keep an eye out for them. Left to right, near to far on the camera view. That one sent all the way through. Everyone was convinced the wind was going to take it out. And Victoria does touch it, and it does go out of bounds. Another goal kick for Carducci as it went off the Victoria Highlander player off the end line. Nice crowd starting to file in quickly here. Still trying to build some momentum within the Okotoks and Calgary soccer communities, but as the season goes on and the importance of the games increase, we expect the fan numbers to increase as well. Calgary forced backwards, and Carducci will have to start again. Victoria a lot more offensively aggressive in this first half. That's not what we saw at all really in the first 45. Victoria was willing to take the whatever Calgary gave them, and this time it's pretty much the opposite.
Yeah, I think they're coming out here, like I said, fire in their bellies and hungry to get a point, and they're going to want to put Calgary on their heels, not let them get possession, get any momentum. They're going to want to try to push it high and win the ball higher up on the field so they can counter and get some goal-scoring opportunities from that.
Campanile got that one blocked away, but Musi will start on the far side, right side. He's the right wing, along with Danto in the center and Mamadi Kamara in the left wing. He'll be on the near side to the camera point of view. We thank you very much for joining us today, whether you're supporting Foothills FC or the Victoria Highlanders. We know we had some Victoria fans in the YouTube chat on Friday night. And if you're coming in on the archive of this game and not watching it live at 2 p.m. on Sunday, we thank you very much for joining us as well. And don't forget, you can watch it live and rewind and see key plays as many times as you will like. Trying to make some moves around. Atakube, number 14, up to Ali Musi. At the far end, Danto, number 9, cuts it across. Kyle Jones wanted to go a left-footed strike, didn't get everything he wanted through the dirt of the middle, and the second attempt goes wide past the net. Nicely underway, 7 minutes gone. Very warm, but windy afternoon start to this contest. That one's going to be sent wide right, and a new ball will be brought in. Coach Tommy Wilden told me on Friday night that they know they still have a lot of work to do with Foothills Composite High School to improve the field conditions, but they expect a lot of improvements in the next 14 days before Portland Timbers FC under 23 team are here for that Northwest Division rematch in 2 weeks. We'd love to see you here live that evening, that weekend. Should be a great action here. A lot of moms in the crowd, a lot of moms and a lot of kids, and happy Mother's Day to everyone. That cross is going to go in, knocked away by the Highlanders, number 10, Marcus Campanile. Recovered by Calgary, though, looking for a move. Trying to set something up, going wide, deflected up and over and out. Some nice work there. Atakube could have taken that shot along with Kamara, but tried to make a move instead.
Yeah, I like the composure from him there. He could have taken the shot, but there's lots of numbers in the center of the goal there from the corner, and plays a great ball to the back post, and Wielden almost gets it on frame there with a great block by the defensive team.
First corner of the day for either squad, coming from the far left corner, camera side. The right foot is trapped. Looked like 16 got a piece of it, Thomas Shores, and it'll be another try. Kyle Jones will send it in. Coach Tommy Wielden is shouting instructions to Carducci, who's then passing it on. That one nicely blocked away by Victoria and sent to center field. Are corners a big part of practices?
Yeah, you definitely work on them. You know, you have offensive teams will bring out different plays to try to mess up the defenders, and you know, set pieces are massive. If you have a big statured team, it can be a huge advantage for you if you're playing against a team that's not as big. And you know, it's just all about physical and 1v1 battles and trying to win those battles to outmuscle your opponent and get something on the end of them. Nice
tackle and forward progression for Marcus Campanile, number 10. However, his forwards can't keep pace, and Calgary will start back at the far end. Perfect for the crowd on the far side of the field, camera side. They can see everything, and already the wind's starting to affect kicks from both ends going in either direction. Great battle last time between Bent and Haynes, the two number 3s. Keep an eye out for that all day today. Expect it to be just as aggressive. Bent was bent on destruction on Friday night from the perspective that he just kept going even when they were down 2-0. He just continued to put out a full-out effort. So we'll see if that continues today, or if perhaps his energy will calm down into a more strategic sense. Kick in, deflects a couple of times, and Carducci, the dive and the grab. Off a couple of legs, that can be difficult for a goaltender just trying to follow the pinball action. Yeah, for sure. So much going on in front of you. Your vision might be blocked, but great job by Carducci to handle that safely and not give up any rebounds. Noah Cunningham, the former Foothills FC player in 2017, clears that one away. And it'll be a throw-in for Jordan Haynes. At 5 yards from the end line. Throwing it into triple coverage, but Haynes is there to back it up. However, Bent sends it all the way through. Jonathan Wielden up to Ledgerwood, the Canadian national team member. Little miscommunication, and it'll be Bent here on the near side. Bent back to Chalet, and it'll go off the table, and the fourth official had to keep his eyes open. Peter Chalet had a lot of good offensive performances on Friday night. A lot of pressure and setting up his forwards. Certainly someone we mentioned quite often in game number 1 of the 2018 regular season. Once again, shout out to the Highlanders fans. Thank you very much for joining us and following us on the road. Nolan Worth was kept very busy on Friday night, and I imagine he expects to see the same thing over the next 77 minutes or so. The monster pace has seemed to have slowed down for the moment, but I would say the possession's probably about 50-50, where it was about 90-10 Foothills at this point on Friday.
Yeah, I think today in a Sunday afternoon game when the heat is higher, you know, both teams are going to want to take their moments to slow the game down and take their moments to speed it up. It's tough to go 100 miles an hour for the full 90 in this type of heat, so the teams will definitely look to take the heat out of it and slow the game down when they can and just look to gain possession and wear the other team down defensively. One
of the nicest days of 2018 so far. The fans are in shorts and short sleeve shirts, so that's a difference. We had snow on the ground in Calgary about 3 weeks ago, so Mother's Day can be shoddy at best and unpredictable at the best of times weather-wise. I've been in snowstorms driving to my mother's house. So today seems to be the exception, which is nice. That one gets a little messy at the end line. Couldn't control it was Isaac Kosh, and he'll put it through the line. Calgary quickly surrenders possession back again. Callum Montgomery advances. Francisco Bartolillo. He watched all 90 minutes from the bench on Friday, but has earned the start tonight. Little fancy footwork. Almost created a turnover. Calgary was able to create a lot of turnovers on Friday. We'll see if that type of aggression continues and strategy continues here. Just barely keeping it in. Well done by Danto. He'll feed it in. Trying to cross through. No luck for Kamara. Smartly knocked away by Chalet. Victoria 1-on-5 right now. Wait for some reinforcements to advance the ball forward. And looks like that steal was only temporary for Musi. Musi opened the scoring on Friday with that penalty kick. Got this crowd buzzing. Pretty exciting way to score the first goal of a season, that is for sure. Working shorthanded. Victoria tries to make a play to the near side. Chalet decides to go backwards. Nice coverage by Kamara along with Ledgerwood. Center midfield is Nick today, as he was last game. He has the ball. Kamara didn't waste any time after being substituted in about the 80-minute mark and made an immediate impact. Of course, the second goal scored by Nico Pasquati. Definitely a highlight goal, and you'll be interesting to see if we see him as a substitute later today. Sent all the way back. Joel Waterman with Haynes to his left, Wheeldon to his right, and Adekube to the far right if necessary. That one stays, just on the line. Bent didn't like that call, but the fourth official stands up and decides to tell Corey Bent to maybe relax a little bit. Haynes trying to find an outlet. They'll kick it back to him. How about this fancy footwork, Stephanie? These guys are at this level for a reason, and individual ball control has been spectacular so far.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, these guys, like we said earlier, this is the highest level of football in Alberta right now, and it's fun to come out and see these guys. They're going to want to put on a bit of a show and prove themselves. And with the new professional league starting up next year, this is an audition for them, and this is, you know, a tryout for them in a sense to want to be a part of that league next year. And this is their chance to show their skills and show what they've got.
Kosh had an up and down game Friday night, tries to crowd it across to Campanile on the edge of the box, and that's quickly cut off by Foothills FC, and the ball is traveling in their favor, and a nice header decision by Nolan Worth. That could have gone so many wrong ways, but I think that I agree. I think Worth's header decision was the best play in that situation.
Yeah, it's one of those tough ones where you're, as a goalkeeper, you're right on the edge of your box and you're not quite sure where that ball's got to land, but you know you've got to get a touch on it because Danto is right there and ready to get something on it. So good decision by the keeper and cleared it nice and wide so it's out of danger.
Nice move by Bent. Gets that stolen away. Joel Waterman there to cover. 19 minutes into the contest. Throw in for Victoria. Trying to set things up. Always nice to have 3 or 4 options on a throw in. If we combine Friday and tonight, Stephanie, it seems like both teams, especially on set pieces as well as throw-ins, take a lot of time to decide what they're going to do. Is that just the newness of the season and getting to know your teammates? Is that a factor?
No, I think anytime you have a set piece, you're in control and you get to, you know, create the tempo. And if you want to play it quick, if something's on early, then you play it quick. Otherwise, you let your team set up and give yourself the best opportunity to keep the ball because, you know, ultimately it is a set piece and the time will go when you decide to. So you have full control and it's better to take time and set it up.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, definitely. A lot of non-calls so far in these first 20 minutes, according to the players' opinions and pure volume that we can hear all the way up here. Victoria Highlanders 5-8-1 in 2017. Foothills FC were 9-3-2. They had 29 points. They tied Portland for the division lead in points, but the goal differential went to the Timbers' favor, which is why they traveled to Portland for that Northwest Division Championship match that the Timbers took 3-0. And I know, talking to officials involved with the team, that they cannot wait for that home set 2 weeks from this weekend to get revenge for that disappointing game that they had in Portland in 2017. Waterman drops it off at Akumbe. Too much for that one, and Mr. Everything, Bent, makes a play for it. That call going in Foothills FC's favor. You can hear the officials talking to the players from here, and you can also hear the coaches being very, very vocal. The coach, both benches right below us here, the Foothills FC bench to our right and the Victoria Highlanders bench to our left. Substitutes and coaches like to share their opinions with the referees whenever they like. And we'll restart with Nolan Worth. halfway through the half. No scores on the board. We thank you very much for joining us here, either live or on the archive on YouTube Live and through the USL PDL website. Anyone checking out that game page and watching us today, we thank you very much. From anywhere in North America checking out the action here, as this weekend the primary start for action all across the 74 teams of the Premier Development League, and that ball gets caught up in the wind. What's sort of your anti-wind strategy here for Foothills FC right now?
Yeah, as I said before, I think, when you're playing against the wind, you want to look to keep the ball on the ground. And I think especially on, the pitch is a bit bumpy here. So you saw there, I think Marco got caught with a bouncing ball back. So it's just about trying to keep the ball on the ground and eliminate any risks in the back. And then just looking to get the ball centrally outside. And the more that you can keep moving it in and out, make the defensive team move around more, you'll wear them out, and you'll be able to advance up the field without having to hit long balls.
Risk elimination, the number one concern, obviously. No doubt about that. Tommy was very happy with that clean sheet on Friday nights and mentioned that penalty kick had gone in and tied the score at 1-1. That who knows how the game may have turned out in the second half. But 2-0 was the result. Victoria is still looking for their first goal of the 2018 season. Noah Cunningham trying to make a decision. Getting it back to Montgomery. That one blocked by Foothills FC, number 13, Mamadi Kamara. Chalet. A lot of close-in action between the two players. We've got very sensitive microphones, so you may hear something that you're not expecting to, but that's just how it goes sometimes. The fans on the other side of the field are probably hearing the same things. Adekube up to Ledgerwood. Lobbing it in front, trying to find a black jersey. However, Cunningham cleared it away. Once again to Calgary's favor. Haynes. Back out to Waterman. Waterman and Wheeldon, the central defense. Zeeby and Haynes playing a little bit higher up. So not a traditional four-back line for the majority of the contest so far. But as you can see now, they've adjusted to it. Allowing Zeeby to move up a little bit more and create some opportunities towards the center on that far side, Stephanie.
Yeah, they're going to look to get their fullbacks high, get them in the attack. I think that the Foothills are much more effective when they have their fullbacks being able to create 2v1s higher up the field and give their wingers the chance to get crosses in.
That one across the mouth of the goal mouth. Papadinets clears it away. Unlike other North American sports, when you see a roster laid out on a soccer pitch where the players are in specific positions, that's about the opening kickoff, and that's about it. It changes at a moment's notice and never sticks specifically to that pattern. Adekube decides to kick it back to Carducci. Sent all the way down, Montgomery, who's been very busy in the last few minutes. Left fullback. That one gets knocked through, and Nolan Worth has to zoom out and grab it before Ali Musi can make him pay for it. Good, loud crowd here today. Of course, the Foot Soldiers to our broadcast left in the beer gardens, as loud and proud as they always are. FoothillsFC.ca is your source for everything regarding the team and links to our social media pages. Twitter feed is extremely busy, so whoever's doing the Twitter for Foothills FC, congratulations, because I'll get stuff at 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning giving me the most up-to-date information about what this team is up to. The middle third of the field, definitely the busiest so far, the neutral zone. That one breaks through. A couple of moves, no luck for Kamara, but the ball managed to get through the other legs and towards him for an opportunity. And that ball is ruled to go Victoria's way. USLPDL.com is your source for everything about every team in the league. And of course, the U.S. Open Cup is on right now, and the PDL teams have been having very good success in the opening round. And Carducci likes to dive around and hold on to that ball. Going right to left are the Foothills FC. Jonathan Wheeldon, number 20. He has the ball. And will send it through. Knocked down was one of his teammates. But here's some aggression. Moses Danto will earn that corner. And once again, it'll be Kyle Jones to send it through. From the goaltender's left to the right is where the ball will come. The wind has calmed down a little bit, but is traveling left to right. Crosses through, and it's in! Did it deflect off someone's leg, or was it right through from Jones? I don't think it touched anyone. Nolan Worth got pretty confused, and it went to the far post. Looks like maybe Danto got a piece of it. How about that? 1-0 Foothills FC.
I really hope Danto got a piece of this. It would be a great reward for the hard work he's had already. It's good to see after Friday, when I think every time he received the ball, there's 2 or 3 players on him, that tonight I think today he's done a great job of finding space. He's coming lower on the field to get the ball, and he's given himself the opportunity to go 1v1 to the defenders. He's had a lot more success today, and it's a great reward for him.
Yeah, he's been all over the field down low for sure, and been the
Calgary FC.
Let's find out for sure.
Number 9, Moses Danto.
Moses Danto gets the official credit. The deflection off the corner. He's been buzzing around that net all day long and gets his reward. He had a hat trick last Sunday in the exhibition game against FC Edmonton's academy team. And once again, Calgary on the board first, this time without the wind, which could be a huge strategic result for when the teams switch ends in about 15 minutes. Danto in the 30th minute, getting a piece of that corner kick from Kyle Jones. Campanile loses that one. Here's Jones again. And that angled shot right into the arms of Nolan Worth. Obviously, goaltenders at this level don't let one bad goal get mentally into their heads, or else they'd be playing in the 5th division of their buddies' league in the neighborhood, because they wouldn't have reached this level, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's the biggest part of being a goalkeeper is being able to be in the moment, and mistakes or big saves, you've got to be able to put them behind you and just focus on being ready for the next save and the next opportunity you have to get the ball. Because if you're still high on a big save, you might miss out on an easy save that you need to make, or if you're low from a goal, then you might not make the next opportunity to make a save. So it's just all about being in the moment and being present for every opportunity.
Yeah, Pekka-Rinne disease. Unfortunately, he had some difficulty early this week, and the Jets made him pay, certainly. Foothills FC going to try to build on this lead 33 minutes into the contest. Already having a 2-0 win on Friday night in Game 1. If you missed it, check out the Canada Footy News video list on YouTube, and you can watch that whole 90-minute game. Canada Footy News is going to be your source for all the home action for the Foothills FC men's team, as well as the UWS women's team. Their first home game is in about 3 weeks. Nice header to keep that one in from Kamara. What do you like about Kamara's game that you've seen not only today, yesterday, and Friday, but also in practice that you've been involved with, Stephanie?
Yeah, I think he's an athletic, skillful forward, and to see him in wide areas where he can isolate himself 1v1 with fullbacks, that's where you want him. You want him in the foot race, and you want him to be able to go at defenders with his speed and get behind them, get crosses in, cut in, get shots on. I think he's been excellent today. Adekube
gets knocked down. And I believe we have possibly a yellow card against number 2, Callum Montgomery. Against number 10, Campanile. A yellow card for Campanile on the board. Jackson Farmer already was hurt after the matchup Friday night. However, Adekube seems no worse for wear, but we'll see if he rejoins the action after halftime, after some maintenance. Free kick to the right of the goal, and will roll all the way through. No contact from anyone on the field. Wind starting to twist a little bit right now. A little bit towards us here on the near side, right beside the camera. And a bit of a miscommunication there as Nolan Worth has to clear the ball out as quickly as he can. We've hit the 35-minute mark, and we continue to go forward. And Calgary has possession. Kyle Jones has been pretty busy this first half.
Yeah, for sure. He's been running around creating great pressure on the back line, and I think this free kick is a great result of some good pressure from the Foothills, allowing the Highlanders to play out, give them a little bit of confidence there, and then as soon as there's any type of a backward pass, just high pressuring the situation and getting free kicks out of it. This is exactly what they want to do.
Thomas Niendorf is the coach of the Victoria Highlanders, and if that name reminds you of anything in Calgary, it would be when he was the coach of the Calgary Storm in 2001. In the old league back then. Great crowd response over at Foothills Stadium, but soccer stadium right beside McMahon Stadium. And he moved out to Victoria about 5 years ago to start this program, and now they're in their third year in the PDL, and that cross goes nowhere and touches no one. In the 3-year history of both teams being in the league at the same time, including Friday nights, Calgary is 7-0-2 against the Victoria Highlanders. This is Calgary's 4th season in the league, and have had tremendous results even in these first 3 years. Of course, the league finalists in 2016, and had impressive performances in 14 and 15 as what you'd call an expansion team as the first team in the PDL from this region outside of BC or Manitoba. So it's been a successful 3+ years for the program entirely, and nobody is unknown as to what they're going to be doing at this point. Kamara misses near side as that gets blocked away. They're not walking in invisible anymore, are these Foothills FC teams, and everyone in the Northwest Division knows exactly what they're going to expect. Of course, there is other action in PDL on the video streams. Go to uslpdl.com for those links to watch other live web streams of matchups this weekend, and of course most of the archives as well. Spinning around off the head unexpectedly the Victoria player as Adekube shot that one ahead. 38 minutes into the contest, Calgary 1, Victoria no score. Danto in the 30th minute is our only goal so far. Kosh gets knocked away by his fellow number 11, Ali Musi. And the referee tonight taking the same amount of abuse as the referee on Friday night did. Campanile with the yellow card, so he'll have to be careful. Already missing Gordon Hall are the Highlanders, thanks to his red card on Friday night. But that gave Bartolillo the opportunity to draw into the starters lineup. Kamara, around 3 men, drops it off. Ledgerwood just could not get a foot on it, and the crowd reacted, as you could hear. 1-on-3 to a man who was 1-on-1. That's exactly what you want to try to do, and they were able to do that. Victoria called offside, and Carducci will start the offense from the back one more time for Foothills FC. We see that in other sports where there's too many people focused on the ball or the puck, and then there's an opportunity for an open man to have a wide open chance at the net. Do you see that from a goaltender's perspective a lot of the time? Maybe not to throw your defenders under the bus at any point, Stephanie, but just maybe too many people concentrating on the ball and forgetting about the open men that they have to defend?
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge for a defender is, your vision and awareness. Can you have your vision on the ball? Can you see the ball? Can you see the player that you should be marking, and can you see your teammates to try to stay close to them and keep a good tight shape defensively? And we always talk about finding that sweet spot of the balance between all three of those things.
Corey Bent off the outlet from Chalet, trying to make a move, cutting across, but it'll be blocked by Jordan Haynes, and this will be a corner for Victoria. On the near right camera side. Fans still entering the field. Season tickets still available. Go to foothillsfc.ca for all those details, as well as the UWS female team. And there's the piece of the ball getting off the foot of Chalet, and a nice read by Marco Carducci. 20 covering 20, but Chalet was able to get a piece of that corner, and Carducci had to come up big. Cunningham tried to clear it up. Bartolillo. Bit of pinball action there. This is Kosh with the left foot, trying to cut it through, and once again, that inside lane keeps the action to the outside for the Victoria Highlanders, but it'll be Kosh importing it from the opposite side now, this time to Carducci's right. Three minutes before halftime. The cross in, and off the side of the head, it looked like of number 10, Campanile, and it flows to the right of the post. Couple of pretty good efforts there for Victoria, just a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, for sure. They're getting the corners and they're getting those attacks in now, and you know that wears down on a defensive team when you're constantly defending free kicks and corners and the ball's constantly in your end. It wears on you mentally, not being able to get out of your own end. And as an offensive team, it starts to build your confidence and build that belief that you're going to score and get something out of it. And even though they haven't got great contact on the corners, they have got some, and they're forcing Marco to make saves. And Foothills are going to want to be tighter in their marking to not let them get any more contacts on those, because the next one could be a stronger contact, which could be a goal.
Campanile definitely with the dirtiest uniform on the field right now, getting into the action, into the dirt. And some contact there. Both players looking to the referee to hope the other gets called. Jersey tugging is certainly nothing new in this sport, no matter what the level. Just outside the penalty area. Bance and Kosh. Let's see what strategy they use here. Two-man wall for Foothills. Kosh sends it up. Oh, and the late header goes over the crossbar, but sort of a last second opportunity there for the far wing to get a piece of it. And once again, the Highlanders' pressure continues here. They've had the majority of the pressure in the last 5 to 8 minutes. About a minute to go before halftime. I think all these players are going to be anxious to get a drink of water and take a rest for a few minutes. Cunningham and Chalet having a bit of a discussion there as to who should have done what on that play. Haynes blocked up by Chalet. Back into the center of the field. Trading it back and forth of the two teams. Thomas Shore has had it there for a moment. And has it again. Trying to kick it out. Can Musi take advantage? No, Victoria a little bit too fast. And move the ball very, very quickly. Bartolillo. And we have hit 45 minutes. Let's see what the referee decides. That is 45 minutes. No extra time added. Foothills FC 1, Victoria Highlanders no score. Your thoughts in the first half?
I thought Foothills came out and had a great start. I think both teams, came out and started to establish possession early, but Foothills took over soon after, created some corners, created some free kicks in the offensive end, and got a goal out of that. And I think the last 10 minutes, we saw the Highlanders start to put more pressure on. They were starting to create more free kicks, more corners, and really establish themselves in the Foothills end. So it's going to be an interesting second half. Highlanders are going to come out and want to get that equalizer goal, so Foothills are going to have to come out just as strong to equal that force and hold on to this lead and hopefully keep pushing forward to get another one, because 1-0's a tight one and you can't sit on that.
Calgary will get whatever it may be in a wind advantage in the second half, and we'll see what that can turn into. 1-0 after 45 minutes for Calgary. Foothills FC will be back for the second half. All right, Dave Stanish and Olympic bronze medalist Stephanie LeBay back with you for the second half between Foothills FC in the black with green stripes and the Victoria Highlanders in white. Stephanie, couple quick questions about Rio that I ask every Olympian that I interview before the kickoff. One, where do you keep the medal?
To be honest, I thought you were asking about my dog Rio at first, but the medal I keep with me in close proximity, not necessarily with me in my car, but it's usually...
You don't have it with you today, do you?
It's in the Calgary vicinity.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe next time. Maybe next time we'll take a look at it. And second question I ask, the best Olympic memory you have where you weren't being shot by a TV camera?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think just walking around the village and, looking around and seeing all the other athletes and just seeing just the celebrities that are around you, and I think just soaking in that moment and yeah, just being surrounded by so much greatness and so many talented athletes, in their disciplines.
Excellent. Well, these players would like to be Canadian Olympians one day. Of course, the Olympian rule for men is under 23, but 3 overagers are allowed. PDL is under 23, but 8 overagers are allowed. So Olympic qualifying for men's and women's soccer will be beginning here in the next 12 months. And of course, the Women's World Cup qualifying just in this coming autumn, I would say. Isn't that correct? Yep,
it's in October, and it'll be held down in the States. So we're getting excited for that and getting ramped up.
2 big years of action for female soccer, 19 for the World Cup and 20 for the Olympics in Tokyo. Can't wait for that to rile up again. Corner from Foothills FC, deflected around. Wilden chose not to touch it and just let that roll past. I think that ball went in a different direction than they were expecting as the wind is starting to circle around here and not be as predictable as it was in the first half.
Yeah, definitely. I think that took a bit of a deflection and caught Wilden a bit off guard there, so he had his run going one way and unfortunately couldn't change direction fast enough.
This time it's a throw-in for Bruno Zeeby, who was a substitution on Friday night but has started this contest. And Calgary not wasting any time with the wind advantage. We talk about it in the other football all the time, especially when it's a colder temperature. But what do you think Victoria does down one and without the wind?
Yeah, I think, the one positive thing about being against the wind is you can overhit a ball and it's going to stay on the pitch. So you might be hitting a long ball and it's not going to roll off the pitch. So that you can chase down everything, put pressure on the Foothills back line to win the ball and try to regain it on second phase. So I think that's the one thing. And then, as I said before, just looking to keep your possession and keep it low.
Overhits certainly occurred a lot in the first 15 to 20 minutes. Neither team seemed to know where the ball was going to fly to, and most of the time it flew out of bounds. And that could be another time for that exact case, as Nolan Worth, his second straight start here for Victoria Highlanders. 3 goals in 135 minutes so far have gone past him. 3 versus 3, Haynes and Bent. Now on the far side of the camera angle. We'll keep an eye out for that one. Off the torso of Shores, but kept in by Kyle Jones. Trying to set something up. Across. Once again off the torso of Kamara. Couldn't quite handle that one to be able to turn around and face the net. Goal kick for Nolan Worth. What have you seen from him for 3 halves of action, despite maybe the goals that he's given up?
Yeah, I think he's been solid back there behind the back line. Of course, giving up 3 goals, but I think that the leadership that he's giving with the back line, and I think that the pressure that Foothills are putting on them, they're forcing him to hit long when he gets it. The defenders are getting pressed and they're having to play back to him, and he's having to deliver under pressure. So I think that's going to be something moving forward, is that when the Foothills pressure comes on, the Highlanders backline are going to want to look to try to play forward, because any pass backwards is going to get high pressed, and they're putting him in a tough situation.
double-checked with the officials at halftime. There were 2 yellow cards in the first half, both against the Victoria Highlanders, Papadinets and Campanile. Nothing against the Foothills permanent record. That one across, and with that crazy wind, right into the gloved hands of Marco Carducci. That one a little bit too far for Zebi. I think the physicality has definitely calmed down from last Friday to tonight. Not a lot of direct tackles and increased tempers, let's just say, like we saw on opening night, which is nice to see. Don't want the referee to be too busy with his pen and his notepad. Lots of yellows we saw on Friday night. High kick to keep that one going forward, but Victoria will send it to the left end of the field. And it'll continue to be their possession. Foothills FC have next weekend off, and we hope everyone has a wonderful May-long weekend. Going across. Couldn't make the connection to number 17, Stuart Heath. Could the Highlanders. And Montgomery puts that one out of bounds on his own. Foothills FC will have the weekend off and then host Portland in 2 weeks. This is Musi. Bounced around and high up. ZB. Trying to find that open man again. This time they do it. It's Nick Ledgerwood on the near side. Nice head clearance by Cunningham. And you got to be able to clear a ball with basically, except for your arms, every other part of your body and be able to adjust to wherever a ball's coming in your direction.
Yeah, for sure. It's, backliners, the defenders have got to be agile with that, and it's, like I said, it's a balance of being able to see the ball and your man, and being able to clear anything that you can to keep it out of danger.
Going forward with the right foot, and that will go too far. Looked like that was Danto that had a piece of that one. Kamara, Danto, and Musi, the forwards. Jones, Adekube, and Ledgerwood, the midfield. Haynes, Waterman, Wielden, and Zebi, the back line for Foothills FC. Ledgerwood's going to set it up. And we'll see if Jones can work a little bit more of his magic like we saw on the deflected corner kick that resulted in our only goal so far today. They're going to cross in. Nobody could get a full arm on it, full foot on it. And Danto goes down after a collision and is still down on the far side.
Yeah, you definitely heard the contact on that one, trying to get a touch on that and the defender going through the ball. But it's, those are the types of things you want your forwards to be doing, is putting their body on the line, trying to get something in the box. And unfortunately it comes out with a bit of a knock, but great work to try to keep the ball in play. So, yeah, unfortunately some incidental contact there between the two players. And Adekube had got run over in the first half, but he's still in the contest. And Danto doesn't seem any worse for wear right now. Brought forward by Wielden, and no touch until Nolan Worth gets it. In 2 weeks, Foothills FC ladies will open up their season on the road in Salt Lake City. And then in 3 weeks, we'll have their home debut. Of course, that'll be at the Calgary Soccer Center in the southeast. We hope to see you there. And we will have webcasts of all the ladies' home games as well as these men's home games from Foothills Composite High School here in Okotoks. Just about a 10-minute drive from South Calgary.
very welcoming environment and wonderful community of sports fans. About a similar sized crowd to what we saw Friday night on the live. From the live, a much better day for it, certainly. Everybody had jackets on that night, but no need for that this afternoon. Campanile. Fancy footwork. Trying to cut it through. Nice header to clear that away for Foothills. And it'll roll out on the near side. Colin Montgomery. Back to Campanile. Another cross through, and Carducci had to be careful there, hanging around with Stuart Heath. He's had 3 or 4 chances where the ball's come towards him, but he hasn't been able to get a foot on it. Receiving the ball is Danto. That takes a lot of skill to receive it with your chest and then send it down to be able to make a move, especially when you're not facing the net.
Yeah, definitely. And with a defender that's putting hard pressure on your back, it takes a lot of skill. So it's great to see. But that's Danto's strength, is being able to hold up the ball and be a great target for the team.
Looks like we have another yellow card against Victoria. Number 20, Chalet. So that's 10, 12, and 20, all with yellow so far. So keep those numbers in mind as you watch the action. 10, 12, and 20 in white, playing with a yellow card at this time. Bit of a miss hit there from Worth. Papadinitz has to come back for it. Foot Soldiers converting a Christmas carol into a soccer song, I think, if I can hear it from here. Follow the Foot Soldiers online, and believe me, they'd love to increase the numbers. If you're a hardcore Foothills FC fan or just like to have a little bit more fun than the regular audience, join the Foot Soldiers supporters group. A big reason why Foothills FC's where they are in the profile of Calgary, as well as a big reason why Calgary is joining the Canadian Premier League, and that announcement will come later this week over at Spruce Meadows, and those field conditions look fantastic. So can't wait to see what soccer looks like at a show jumping venue, but it should be amazing. Soccer on one side and horses on the other. Bit of a loose ball there. Nobody can get to it. Danto was looking around. Question from the peanut gallery here, Stephanie. How do you motivate yourself when you don't feel like playing? That's a great question.
Yeah, I think, your motivation comes from all different areas, and people have different things that light the fire inside them, and everyone's playing for something different. But I think at the end of the day, if you remember, what you want to do at the end of this and what your end goal is. And, for me personally, my end goal is to win an Olympic medal and win a World Cup gold. And to be able to do that, it's the daily motivations. I wake up every day and I want to do more than my opponent. I want to do more than the people that I'm competing against. And if I know that every single day I can better myself and be better than the people I'm competing against, then I'm putting myself in the best opportunity to do that and to be in a position to be successful. And I think that these guys too are in the same boat. They at this point they want to win this league, and for them it's waking up every day and wanting to put in the work and prepare themselves so that every time they step on the field they know that they're more prepared than their opponents.
Getting knocked down was Campanile. Atakube got a piece of him, And it'll be a free kick for the Victoria Highlanders. And of course, when it comes to game action, you got 10 other people that are relying on you to play your best. So you don't want to let down be the one weak position among the 11 on the field at any point, because if you are, you're going to be watching the rest of the game.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's the passion inside. You know, we all love the game and we love the sport, and we train every day to be able to play in games, and games are the fun part. So, you know, games I think are the easiest thing to motivate for, because that's what you put in the work. That's what you wake up every day and train for.
And it looks like we're going to have our first substitution for Foothills FC when we get the chance. Nicely, it's the fourth official's desk is literally right below us here. So you'll see Nico Pasquati getting ready to come in. And another big save for Carducci, and he'll try to forward it up. Danto was there, but covering on the back line nicely. The left back for Victoria looked like Montgomery got a piece of that one. So some quick aggression from the goaltender about 3/4 the way through the field, trying to find Danto while they have the wind advantage, which has calmed down a little bit right now, but still in Foothills FC's direction. Pasquati looking to get brought into the contest. Just waiting for the chance. We're approaching the 60th minute of the contest, 15 into the second half. We're looking for our second goal, the first one coming at the 30-minute mark. So I would say we're about due. Victoria thought that way too, but it was nice and cleared away. And now number 2 for Calgary. Sorry, that looked like Ledgerwood 6 clearing that away, and he manages to force Victoria to their defensive half of the field. As we talked about on Friday, soccer is a lot more about, at the moment, creativity rather than set plays like basketball and football usually are. Quick left footer, no luck for Jones, blocked in front. Rebound, not missing by much. Past the right post, camera side, and a quick rebound reaction opportunity for Danto. Coming into the game will be Pasquati.
Calgary Foothills FC substitution. Beginning the game, Ali Musi.
Pasquati in for Musi.
Number 12, Nico Pasquati.
Musi, the starting right striker. See how the addition of Pasquati perhaps rotates. Well, he's taking the position right now, Danto in the center. And Kyle Jones was ahead of the left winger right there, Kamara, looking to create a fourth offensive threat when they get the ball back. Kamara and Jones seem to have rotated positions, which has not been uncommon between these two teams. We saw that a lot on Friday. Forwards moving back, midfielders moving up. Papadinitz can't control. Now the other number 12, Nico, is going to get his chance. Nice action against Campanile, and he'll win that battle. Pasquati's surrounded by 2 men. He'll give it up. Asking Nico to maximize his effort here. Another bit of a collision there at Akube with Campanile. And looks like Victoria will make a change. Chris Rushworth, number 9, will join at the next available opportunity. And with the ball right in front of the fourth official, this might be the moment. At the 63-minute mark. Montgomery and Campanile trading it back and forth. And sending it all the way down are Foothills FC. And here's a bit of a race. Danto and Worth just on the outside of the line. It's still in bounds. Up until that moment, what's the referee going to decide here? Head referee Derek can't read my own writing. Ellingwart. Assistant referees Riley Thomas and Jordan Whittier. Not a very common occurrence for a goaltender there to be in a ball battle on the sideline with an opposing forward.
Yeah, it doesn't always happen, but I like the high line of support from the goalkeeper. Clear any ball that's being played behind the back line. You know, as a defender, that's what you want from your goalkeeper. You want them to be playing high so that they can clear the ball of any danger. And I think he could have probably just come out and played that first time instead of, you know, turning and letting it rolling, knowing Danto's speed and pace. So I think he'll be thinking about that in the future. But I love the high line, and I love the support behind the back line to clean those through balls up.
Rushworth is going to come in. This is the time for the Highlanders here at 64:30 of the contest. He will take over for Bartolillo, number 6. Rushworth takes over for Bartolillo.
Rushworth in for Francisco Bartolilli.
Rushworth, his first action of the weekend. Bartolillo did not see the field on Friday night. And a bit of a collision as Heath is down. He's had a frustrating day, and training staff being called out to the far side of the field.
Oof, that doesn't look good.
Jumped up right away and doesn't even want the help of his teammates here.
Looks like a lot of...
Oh, geez. Yeah. Look at that. I don't know if we want much of a close-up there, but I think maybe the... Oh, wow. And he is clearly frustrated. Yeah, I don't think the grass has grown nearly as well as perhaps they would have hoped here at Foothills Composite, and there might be a scratch that's created something more serious. And it's just pure frustration right now for Stuart Heath. Not having the best day to begin with, but a gash on his head is certainly not the way he wanted to come out of the contest. We'll have 2 more weeks to get this field a little bit better for the Portland Timbers series in 2 weeks. But yeah, you don't see those kind of gashes on a soccer pitch nearly, or well, at any point. Wow, that was quite the moment there for Stuart Heath. Didn't want anyone's help coming back to the bench area, and he'll get cleaned up by the training staff from both teams are actually involved. Next, we'll have an injury substitution here. Blair Sturrock, 21. He saw some substitution action on Friday night.
Can you introduce him as the rat?
Not sure what the delay is here, unless there's blood on the grass, but Sturrock anxious to get into the action here. Not the type of change the Highlanders wanted to make at this point. But needless to say, I think we're going to be playing past the 90th minute.
Number 21, Blair Sturrock, in for number 17, Stuart Heath.
Should have said Blair the rat tail. What's that? Blair the rat tail.
Well, after all that unfortunate action there, Calgary has the ball and will give it up to the Highlanders. Right in front of the TELUS sign there. Well, not sure exactly how it happened, but looks like something unfortunate contact to the head, which cut him open, is what we're hearing now. There's a tackle right in front of the box. Tommy Wheeldon looking for a call. Fourth official trying to calm him down as Colin Montgomery took some liberties. And all the men in orange jerseys are getting a talking to here.
Yeah, I think a big thing right now is going to be for both teams to keep their emotions in check. You know, things like that can heighten these things, and to remain focused on the game and not give up, you know, too many fouls, especially within your own defensive third, is going to be key. So both these teams are going to look to keep the emotions in check and, you know, prevent any future fouls.
Sent out by Victoria. Zeeby with the throw in here. Approaching 70 minutes here in this contest. Will tempers continue to flare or continue to calm down, because Victoria's trails only by 1 goal. 30 minutes into the game. We broke the scoreless streak. Danto off the corner deflection. And another whistle. Remember saying early in the first half that things seemed to be relatively calm, and calmer than they were on Friday, but one little spark might start a blaze here. Calgary with possession. Once again, they'll send it through a little bit too far. 70 minutes into the contest. Calgary 1, Victoria no score. Cutting through is Nick Ledgerwood from Atakube. Now at the far end. Kamara tried something, but it didn't quite work. However, a corner will be coming for Foothills FC. Kamara, the left forward. On the far side. Ledgerwood will bring it in. 50-plus caps for Canadian national team. Blocked away smartly by Victoria. And the busiest man, Campanile, has another foot on it. That one's blown down. And here comes Noah Cunningham. Back to Nolan Worth. Still in Victoria possession. Victoria getting in position in the 18-yard box. Nice high throw. Calgary got a piece of it. Wheeldon with the header, cleared it away. And Danto gets taken down again, this time by Montgomery. And Montgomery's been a little over-aggressive here in the second half. And the crowd lets him know.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good tactical foul by Montgomery. You know, if Danto gets that and is able to spin and turn, he's probably going to take a big touch and be, you know, on goal one-on-one with himself. So I think that's a good foul to delay the play, let your team get back and reset.
That one, once again, a little bit too far for the forwards. Danto in this case. Calgary with the wind advantage here in the second half, but they've been overshooting their strikers a little bit so far. And we'll have another change. Tofa Fukunle, who started on Friday, will come in, and Kyle Jones will come out.
Going into the game, number 17, Tofa Fukunle. Exiting number 23, Kyle Jones.
Jones with the assist on the opening and only goal of the contest off that corner kick. Brilliantly struck. And you can see that replay whenever you like. Just hit that rewind button. at the center line. Fakunle gets his first touch very quickly into the match. Those orange spikes. And that one sent over our heads and well out of bounds. Papadinets finds Shores. Once again, 3 yellows on the file for the Victoria Highlanders. 10, 12, and 20. Keep those numbers in mind. And back to Marco Carducci. Just when you think the Foot Soldiers have run out of interesting chance, they come up with another one. Danto took his player down. Once again, the battle between Danto and Montgomery is really heated up here in the last 10 to 15 minutes. And Victoria gets the benefit of that call. That's high up for a goaltender. And look at this play. It might be... It was right there. Perfect chance for Blair Sturrock, the injury replacement. And Carducci took the finish of that one, but I think the wind caught that one a little bit, but that could have been an interesting play there for Nolan Worth. Worth with that free kick, a third of the way up the field. Not the most common thing you see. And it'll head back in his direction. Might as well try it slow and steady from the back this time. Callum Montgomery. The wind really affecting the strikes here this afternoon in both directions. Obviously in the second half, Victoria is struggling with under hits and Calgary Foothills FC struggling with over hits. Throwing it in will be Papadinets. Headed away by Rushworth, the first substitution that Victoria made. The battle continues. Danto and Montgomery, former teammates in 2017. And the laundrymen are going to be very busy with the Victoria jerseys, just like they were on Friday night with those white jerseys that Foothills FC wore. The toe of Montgomery not feeling that great right now. Excuse me, that was Cunningham. But the action continues. 76 minutes into this matchup. Oh, there's a collision from behind. Waterman frustrated as Chris Rushworth is brought down. Now that's another part of home field advantage is the supporters groups out there making noise. Free kick for Campanile just outside from about 22 yards. Carducci covering his right post, now squaring up to the center. 4-man wall. Campanile off the wall. Well done. And now it's a chase. What can Leisurewood do after blocking that shot? For the soccer novices out there, Stephanie, is there a rule about the number of people in a wall? I think 4 is the maximum, but because there was 2 earlier on. Is it just kind of what the defensive team decides to do? Or?
Yeah, it's all up to the goalkeeper, and you can have as many in the wall as you want. You could put all 10 in the wall if you want.
Oh, okay.
As a goalkeeper, it's totally up to you and the risk that you think it is of a shot. So the more central and the closer to the goal it is, the more numbers you're going to have in the wall because you know that it's a shooting opportunity. Higher and wider it is, you're going to have less in the wall because because it's not quite a shooting opportunity. So it's all about what you want. And, some goalkeepers prefer to have less numbers in the wall because they want to see the ball for any type of a shot. So it's all up to the goalkeeper's discretion.
I was looking for that colored spray that they used during the World Cup there. I can't.
I believe it's shaving cream.
Oh, is it? Is that what it is?
That's the rumor I've heard, and it just dissolves right away after.
The dissolving shaving cream. That was a highlight of the World Cup, certainly in 2014.
I may have just spread a rumor. We're not sure about that one. Don't quote me.
Well, the dissolving liquid, that was certainly, as I said, a highlight of the especially for the live crowds at the 2014 World Cup. And I don't care what anyone says. I love in South Africa in 2010. I love the vuvuzelas. I was the only one, but I loved them. I'm sorry. A loud crowd, especially for a non-home game, is exactly what you want, and those horns are fantastic. I know that was 8 years ago, but I still make the argument. Danto with the first yellow card against Foothills FC so far, and not honestly that surprising considering the battle him and Montgomery have had in this second half. I would have thought that eventually one of them was going to do enough to get the referee to blow something down. Another shot up from Carducci. Goes in between a lot of guys, but Kamara clears it up as the fourth official is warning Tommy Wilden to relax. His team is ahead. 80 minutes gone, 10 minutes remaining. And that ball eventually gets into the audience. Souvenir for somebody. Foothills FC trying to expand this lead and maintain that undefeated lifetime record against these Victoria Highlanders. 6-0-2 prior to Friday, and of course that win made it 7-0-2. And it looks like we have a third substitution here for Calgary Foothills FC, and that looks like Willie Akio will be joining the action. He was very impressive last weekend in that FC Edmonton El Clasico rematch, along with Moses Danto, who's sitting on a yellow card right now. And the ball back to Carducci. What have you thought of the second half so far, Stephanie? What stood out to you?
Yeah, I think we're seeing the Highlanders put a little more pressure on and getting some more chances here. And I think Foothills have defensively, it looks like they've dropped into a 4-4-2 defensively, which I think is giving the Highlanders backline a little more time when they're in possession. But the Foothills are doing well at putting their backline under pressure and really kind of getting throw-ins, getting chances just out of their defensive pressure. I think, with Willie coming in now, we're going to see some more speed up top to add even more pressure onto their backline to hopefully not let them get any more quality service into the box, because they're getting dangerous on those serves in. Marco's been coming up big on the long balls, but it's going to be key to stop the delivery now.
The yellow card has now exited the field for Foothills FC. Willie Akio joins us as we've just passed the 82nd minute here. Calgary has made 3 substitutions. Victoria one as that one knocks off the boot of Callum Montgomery and over top of the net. Victoria with 1 officially, and of course the injury substitution to the huge gash on the forehead of Stuart Heath, number 17. Rather unfortunate play, and as you saw, he was extremely frustrated with the situation. Corner for Calgary. Brought through. Wind seemed to pick that one up and send it all the way out. I don't think anyone got a touch on it. And as a result, the Highlanders will have a throw-in on the near side in front of their own net. Bit of trade back here. Almost a grab, but Adekube maintains it for the moment, at least. Here's Bent, who's been a little quieter than Friday. What a cross it through, but well done by Jonathan Wielden to head that one away. Trying to find someone to make a finish here are these Victoria Highlanders. We'll certainly play some more after 90, but right now we're at 84. Great job by the Calgary back line to not allow any forwards to make those finishes that Marco has to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. The back four's been tight. They've been winning the aerial balls and winning their 1v1 battles. And I think, as I said earlier, the Foothills have dropped into a 4-4-2 defensively, and I think that's just given the four midfielders a chance to win those second balls, because that's where the Highlanders are going to probably find, the chances is off those second phase balls where maybe the Foothills are winning the first ball, but any knockdowns are going to be able to be there. So the midfield have got to keep keeping the team tight and winning those second balls.
Headed forward by Zebi. This is Ledgerwood with the left foot. That one's deflected away. Doesn't miss by much, but nice job by Chris Rushworth to get a piece of it.
Today's game has been brought to you by Strikers Soccer Supplies. Strikers Soccer Supplies, official supplier of Foothills FC for all their equipment and training needs. Be sure to check out their store in Shaughnessy for your individual or team soccer supplies and clothing. We'd also like to thank our other sponsors, without whom the season would not be possible. Tell us for all your communication needs.
Some more back and forth.
Pure Energy, your trusted partner throughout the energy life cycle.
Papadinets gets that one blocked away.
For energy industry. Strikers for all your Foothills apparel.
And a quick forward pass and throw in. They're now in the offensive third of the Foothills side of the field, and decide to kick it back to Cunningham. Sending it through. Nice header. Can they get the payoff? Rushworth in for Campanile. That one knocked away, but great follow from Sturrock to get the ball to Rushworth there for Victoria. Trying to create something surprising. And now we'll have a corner kick from Isaac Koch, we've been told. Koch puts it through in a great head clearance there by Adekube, and the crowd lets him know. Adekube again, almost taken down, but not quite. Once again, Blair Sturrock a little bit over-aggressive, but Adekube with a couple of great defensive moments there. Fourth substitution here for Foothills FC. Looks like Dan Hayfield is going to join us when there's a chance.
Calgary Foothills substitution, leaving the game. Mamadi Kamara. Entering for Foothills FC, number 18, Dan Hayfield.
Hayfield in for Kamara. Kamara taking off those shin guards as soon as he knew he was the sub. Carducci waiting for the call. And we resume. Over everyone's heads. Smartly kicked forward by Fakunle, and that forces Nolan Worth to handle it. Trying to speed up the action here. Victoria looking for the tying goal. Papadinets, no luck there. He'll get a second chance. And once again, they'll start from the back. There is Chalet, overtaken by Hayfield, the newest addition to the contest. But he'll send it out, and Chalet will get the quick throw in. Calgary reading it immediately. And we'll zoom it away. Throw in a lot further away than the old one was for the Highlanders. Looking for their first goal of the season here. They don't want to go home with 2 shutouts against. Wind's starting to pick up more in Foothills FC's advantage. Fakunle in for Akio, 2 of the subs we've seen so far in the second half. That one blown down. You can hear Wilden giving out his instructions. And that one too far for the Cokes header. Trying to find out what's going to happen next. Tofu wanted to receive that ball. Good, well covered by Victoria. Campanile and Koch in there, along with Sturrock. He'll come forward. Rushworth and Bent looking for their opportunity here. Koch. Too far for his teammates. And a nice clearance for Calgary Foothills FC. And this knowledgeable crowd lets them know. We have passed the 90-minute mark. And we're waiting to find out the number of minutes that have been added to the clock. 3 is that number. 3 minutes added. Thank you very much. Let's see what Victoria can do in these last 3 minutes. What are you seeing right now, Stephanie?
Yeah, I think, Foothills they're definitely trying to keep this lead now. It's the final few minutes of the game, and they want to keep it tight, and they're looking to play direct, but they're playing a little bit too central, so they're going to want to play those longer balls behind the back line, but into the corners, and they're going to want to have the forwards run onto them and hold them in the corners to try to take some more time. And you see the Highlanders are definitely, trying to get the ball forward, try to challenge for that first ball and win the second phase. So Foothills going to have to keep a tight team defensively, look to send maybe 1 or 2 offensively, and secure this lead.
Montgomery trying whatever he can. And a couple more tackles that the referee and the 4th official just continue to let go. If all the calls had been made that all these players have wanted today, we'd have about 6 against 6 right now because of all the yellow and red card accumulations. Fourth official and the head referee having a bit of a conversation right now. Derek Illingworth and Manny Pequeño. Illingworth trying to reset the action here. It's his watch that decides when this game will be completed. Assistant coaches making some notes and trying to instruct their defensive players for Foothills FC. Once again, it's Montgomery who's probably touched the ball more than anybody for Victoria today, especially here in the second half. Pace is slowed down, but the ball's on the wrong side of half here for Victoria, who are looking to tie this one up. Try to salvage at least a point from this weekend. It's going to go to Calgary, however. Pasquati trying to do what he did last game. Make a move. Surrounded by 3 men. Loose ball over top of the nets. Hayfield tried to take advantage of Pasquati's effort, but a little bit too high over the net. Back to Haynes. And sent through. Three minutes of additional time as Tommy wants the team to get a little bit more aggressive on the ball. Willie Akio watches his defensive coverage, and Rushworth, gets pulled down. Sturrock there as well. Oh boy, off the post. Calgary getting a little bit confused in their back half here and almost paid the price. Fakunle down. Quick corner, looking for Shores, no luck for him.
Yeah, bit of chaos here for Foothills. They're going to want to remain calm and keep their emotions and look to secure this lead by just good clearances, good solid clearances, high and wide.
Victoria knows they've got time, the pressure on, and possibly the mental advantage. Player down for Foothills to the left of the goaltender. And that's all, folks. Quite an interesting way for the final whistle to be blown, but it has been blown nonetheless.
The Victoria Highlanders.
Still some conversation among the referees as the fourth official not allowing the substitutions to get far onto the field here.
Yellow cards today for Victoria. Campanile, Papadinitz, Shawi.
One of the players down, still to the left of the net. But it looks like, as Pasquati was called for a yellow card a few moments ago.
Thank you for attending our Foothills PC season opening week.
Sort of an interesting way to finish it, as there's still some conversation with the referee, but the final whistle is gone. The crowd starts to disperse, and 1-0 is the result. 2-0 and 1-0, a very successful weekend for Foothills FC here at their opening homestand of 2018.
Yeah, definitely two big results for Calgary, starting the season off getting 6 points in a weekend. That's massive for them, and to gain the confidence of having a home turf and home field advantage to really feel that. They're going to want to have that so that teams know coming here it's going to be tough to get points, and good on them for coming away with 6 points, and good fight till the end in this one with a massive save from Carducci at the end.
Carducci coming up big Friday, coming up bigger today. That deflection may have led to an extra time deciding goal here that may have ended up costing Calgary 2 points in the standings. But as eventually the players decide to disperse and head back, and the crowd decides to head back to their vehicles, that is it. That is 1-0. Foothills FC with the win. A very interesting finish to a very interesting 90 minutes. And a heck of a great weekend here for Foothills FC as they open the 2018 season with 2 wins out of 2 games. For everybody involved here at Foothills FC and Foothills Composite High School in Okotoks, we thank you very much for tuning us in from wherever in North America you may be or around the world. Foothillsfc.ca is your best source for online information and social media following. We thank Canada Footy News for doing everything they can on the back end for this webcast to take place, and we thank you most of all for tuning us in over the last 48 hours. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks when the Portland Timbers are here for the next home games for Foothills FC. Thank you very much for watching.